Now, all of the businesses that came under Keurig Dr Pepper, as well as JDE Peet, those two separate corporations that had many companies within their portfolios, are all going to be a part of Global Coffee Co. And the 6 main traders will do business with that one company. What does this mean for us as an industry? As more and more of this consolidation happens, the buying power is concentrated in these big mega corporations. In the coffee crisis, as this consolidation happens, when we have reduced supply, the people who have the power being money and power being access, those are the people that will get to be able to have the coffee that's needed. If you've ever thought about doing business in the Middle East, or you're just curious about what's happening in one of the most exciting coffee markets in the world, we've launched a new direction for the Map of Forward Middle East podcast as an invaluable resource to help you find out more about doing business in the region. It features real conversations with values-driven entrepreneurs and businesses that have been operating in the region for years. Just as the global podcast, the Map of Forward Middle East podcast will talk about opportunities, challenges, and the realities of building something sustainable in a fast-evolving market. The show is in English and the guests are deeply inspiring. Search Map of Forward Middle East wherever you get your podcasts, hit subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map of Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 3 of a 5-part series with just me. In this series, we are having a conversation about what's going on in coffee so far in this coffee crisis. 2025 has proven to be the year that just simply does not stop giving with regards to this coffee crisis. It is a very, very serious year in coffee. And in this series, we've been talking about what's the state of the crisis. In the last episode, we talked about pricing as one of the layers of the crisis. In this episode, we're going to talk about consolidation. But before I do, I want to start by saying this. There have been many, many people who over the years, this podcast has been operating now for more than 8 years, almost 1,500 episodes. Over that time, we have had people contact us saying, they really appreciate the information that they get from this podcast. They're making business decisions based on this, all of those kinds of things. The consequence of that has been that people have changed and adapted so that they can be one of the businesses that gets out ahead of this coffee crisis. And they have the mindset that they are going to survive this and thrive through it. It's going to be hard work, but they decided to do it. I'm really proud to say that we have started receiving messages from particularly coffee producers who that has happened to. They listened to the conversations that happen on this podcast. They absorbed that information and they said, okay, we're going to have to adapt ahead of time. We're going to have to diversify our revenue streams. We're going to have to look for other relationships. Coffee roasters did this as well. They reached out to people who were on our podcast. They decided that they wanted to build relationships with those people, start to do business with them. And we have witnessed a new ecosystem that's growing from this community that we are at Map It Forward. And I say to people all the time, I am not Map It Forward. We are Map It Forward. We are a kind of movement. And I don't say that in a light kind of a way. This podcast exists to give people the opportunity to get informed and to have a different perspective about the future of coffee. As my friend Felipe Croce says, we shouldn't be focused on making sure that we've got 20 more years in coffee. We should be focused on making sure that we have another 200 years in coffee. And I take that very seriously. And we, all of us, as participating in doing the things that we're doing, here at Mapper Forward, me and you and the guests that come on this podcast, I see us as a group of people who are planting seeds for trees that we will never sit under. Other people, the next generations of our industry, are going to be the beneficiaries of what we create together. And so I'm really proud of all of us. I am proud that we have looked at this coffee crisis and not ignored it. We have adapted our behavior and decided that it is time to make some really hard decisions. Perhaps this is not a year to go to coffee conferences. Perhaps this is a time to stop engaging in coffee competitions and start to get really serious about what this industry is going to look like and how am I going to prepare for that. Perhaps I know that there are people out there that have looked at this coffee crisis and said, I have to really strip down on my borrowing, pay back a lot of the money that I've borrowed, and take things more seriously. I'm proud of us. And I know that we have a lot of really serious things that we talk about on the podcast, but what we are starting to see is that there is a shift that's happening in the coffee industry for a segment of that. And we're going to look for ways in 2026 to bring all of us together in the most cost-effective way, where none of us have to travel. So it will be something online where we can start to exchange ideas. So stay tuned for all of that stuff. Now, an element of this coffee crisis that we need to discuss has started to happen that I believe has taken us into the next phase of the crisis, and that is consolidation. And this is something that we had been saying for at least the past 8 months, that this crisis will reach a phase that we know we are in the darker phase of this when it starts happening. And that has been the last 7 days, we have started to see an increased number of consolidation happening. So what does that mean? The coffee industry is built on a couple of different segments, right? We have the green coffee side of things, and that happens between farmers, traders, and the people who buy the coffee. So you have the buyer and the seller. So that's one side of things. Then we have the retail side of things. That's the businesses that are selling directly to the consumer. You also have the B2B side of things, where we're selling green coffee to coffee roasters, and coffee roasters are roasting it, and then they're selling it to other businesses. What we see is those businesses, those different segments of the industry, are operating at different scales. We have the small to medium side of the industry, and then we have the corporate side of the industry. The corporate side of the industry, we knew that there was going to be an aspect of that would start consolidating, and that has happened now. How has that happened? Well, what we saw this past week is that a mega conglomerate has formed. This is one example of consolidation. Now, the consolidation what happens with consolidation is big companies come in and acquire other companies that they then become a part of the same company, and that eliminates competition between those two companies because now they're the same company. And the more these bigger companies go up and absorb their competition, the less competition there is in the market. The less competition as that happens, this big mega corporation then starts to have a competitive advantage and more power, purchasing power, distribution power, supply chain power. All of this stuff starts to happen. And we saw that through this mega conglomerate. So this mega conglomerate came from Keurig Dr. Pepper, which was one company, which was a merger. Keurig Dr. Pepper purchased JDE Peet's. JDE Peet's was also a mega corporation unto itself. So you had one mega corporation absorb another mega corporation, and they came together. Now, it is in the final stages of the purchase of Keurig Dr Pepper purchasing JDE Peets, and once that finally clears, what will happen is that the merged company will break into two separate companies. One of those companies is going to be they're calling it at the moment the Global Coffee Co. So that will be a company that only deals in coffee. And the other company they're calling as a placeholder name, the Beverage Company or the Beverage Co. That will deal in like the bottled beverage like Dr. Pepper and 7-Up and all of those things. That will be dealt with by one corporation called the Beverage Co. And the coffee side of things will be dealt by the Global Coffee Co. Now, that will take care of selling roasted coffee and all coffee-related aspects that Keurig Dr Pepper and JDE Peet took care of. That is a lot of consolidated companies all in one, like hundreds of consolidated companies that have been acquired over the years are now going to go into this new mega corporate called the Global Coffee Co. Okay. Now, that is an example of the consolidation that's been happening. On the green coffee side of things, we have 6 major green coffee traders in the world. We have the Norman Coffee Group, or NKG. We have the Louis Dreyfus Company. We have Olam. We have Ecom. We have Hartree, who recently acquired Volcafe, and we have Sucafina. So they're the big 6 companies that trade in buying coffee around the world. What happens is, as all of these companies consolidate, they are eliminating their competitors from the market. So when Keurig Dr Pepper purchases JDE Peet's, those two companies, which operated in some of the similar spaces, no longer compete with each other. They become a part of the same company. These 6 big coffee traders sell now directly to what will become the Global Coffee Co. that is going to come out of the merger of Keurig Dr Pepper and JDE Peet's. Okay. Now, before, those 6 coffee trading houses could sell to those separate companies who they had deals with and they did different business with. That's changed now. Now, all of the businesses that came under Keurig Dr Pepper, as well as JDE Peet's, those 2 separate corporations that had many companies within their portfolios, are all going to be a part of Global Coffee Co. And the 6 main traders will do business with that one company. What does this mean for us as an industry? As more and more of this consolidation happens, the buying power is concentrated in these big mega corporations. In the coffee crisis, as this consolidation happens, when we have reduced supply, the people who have the power being money and power being access, those are the people that will get to be able to have the coffee that's needed. You as a small business owner, you as a medium-sized business owner now have to compete with a huge major corporate called the Global Coffee Co. that these 6 businesses, major corporations, as I mentioned, the big 6 green coffee traders are going to be supplying. Now, the Global Coffee Co. has its own buyers in the business, but not anywhere near enough to make up all the supply that they need. So when these big businesses now purchase coffee, they are going to they will be competing with each other to sell all to the same mega conglomerate, mega corporation. That puts all of us behind or on the back foot. So when I'm trying to find coffee for my clients, the relationships that I've built mean more than ever, because the good standing that I have with my with potential suppliers for my customers, my clients, is what is going to get them over the line and get them access to the coffee that they need. But do my clients have access to the capital that's needed to secure this coffee? Can they pay upfront? Well, they don't have the same buying power as these big green coffee buying companies. And so this is where consolidation is a big deal, and it takes us into a dark phase of this coffee crisis. This past week, Coca-Cola announced that it was looking for a new buyer for Costa Coffee. So they purchased Costa Coffee a couple of years ago for $3.9 million. They have found that arm of their business to be underperforming, and so they are looking for a buyer that will buy it for $2 billion. That's just over half what they paid. So when you're buying something for $3.9 billion and you're selling it for $2 billion a couple of years later, that's an important signal to us of what's going on. So just as we're seeing consolidation happening, we are seeing shifting going on in the supply chain, in coffee retail, as well as in lots of these corporates. It's important for us to understand this because the supply of coffee is going to be impacted by this for all of us. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next episode. So join me in the 4th episode of this series. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.